Welcome back to Let's Cook. This episode is brought to you by the letter C. C is for cookie. I was given this jar of cookie mix. What's the name of this product again? It's Sedimentary, my dear cookie, in reference to the famous line that I don't think Sherlock Holmes ever actually said. It's because someone gifted this to me for the holiday season. And so I thought, what better way to show my appreciation for a gift than to turn it into a video? I think that's how that works. I am a great lover of baking, though, so I thought not only will I make these cookies, which consist of a whole bunch of stuff from the sugars to non-branded shellac-coated candy droplets, because you can't legally say M&Ms, peanut butter chips, oats, graham cracker flour, and actual flour. I don't remember where I was going with this sentence. I will be taking the components of this as well from the stuff that lies around in my kitchen and make my own version to compare. In order to keep things, I guess, kind of even, I normally use a hand mixer for cookies, but if I use the stand mixer, there's no like, oh, I put more love into one sample than the other. I have no other idea of what to say for this preamble, so let's get baking. That is really full to the brim, isn't it? Yes it is. So to our stand mixer, we're going to add a stick of butter, as room temp as you can get it. 2 tablespoons of water, which is an odd addition to me. And then we also need an egg. And now watch my amazing breaking an egg with one hand while holding a camera trick. 360.
Success!
Oh, that actually went much better than I was expecting.
And there was much rejoicing.
Hooray. And then we mix everything up with everyone's favorite type of photography, shaky cam. It's like a Michael Bay movie of cookie making. Best commentary. Alright, that looks as good as I'm gonna get, maybe? I guess. And then we add our cookie jar of cookie ingredients on top. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, the brown sugar's stuck. Put up the technical difficulties label, I'll go deal with this. Okay, so I'm gonna dock half a point from this recipe, or this thing, by not considering the fact that brown sugar clumps. It sometimes clumps very well. Okay, and then we are going to mix, as per the recipe, lightly. Smells like cookie stuff. Okay, I think it's almost there. He says, thinking, but pretending like he has something important to say. In actuality, he doesn't. Oh, there's purple. I happen to like purple. So I guess it's time to dish these out. Alright, and then the recipe recommends on parchment paper, which I have here on my cookie sheet, and 2 tablespoon-sized dough balls. I have 2 dishers in my apartment. I either have way too big or way too small. And I'm going to go with way too small, just because I personally like this disher better. I like the way it feels. I like the size the cookies are. So there you go. That's my reasoning. I'm sticking to it. If you don't agree, like, comment, subscribe. If you do agree, also like, comment, subscribe. Well, I can see why you'd want the bigger disher now, because there's a lot of variety in this that you're not getting if you do smaller cookies. Like, you might not even get a M&M. Crumbly. Okay. And then these cookies have to go in the fridge for 2 hours before we can bake them in a... Is that pointing to the oven. That's kind of pointing to the oven. A 350 degree oven for about 13 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make our point of comparison cookies.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay! For our copycat recipe, I have amassed all of my cookie knowledge to try to make this turn out okay. So what we have is 1 egg with half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm going to beat the egg slightly before we're going to add it. I have the same 1 stick of butter. I have half a teaspoon of baking soda with a pinch of salt. I have our sugars. Here it's 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of both white granulated sugar and brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. I have our inclusions, which I usually restrict to 1 cup for this batch. And so we have actual on-brand M&Ms, not sponsored, and peanut butter chips. And then I have our dry goods, which are 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of graham cracker crumbs, and 1/4 cup of oats. You could replace about half of the flour in a recipe with other alternative flours or things like cocoa powder. Any more than that, and you're probably going to have some structural integrity problems, I think. I want to say I'm an expert, but you've seen my show before. Insert clip of the Beanies whirls. I picked way too small of a bowl. Do I have another plan? It's just gonna be a blob at this point. Oops, this one got a little oops. Well, now I know what place I'd get in the technical. Last. Unlike with the premix, I'm going to start with the butter and sugar being creamed together. Go faster! 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 And we're looking for it to become slightly, airy and lighter than when it started. Also, as you can see, my brown sugar also clumps a little bit. That looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to drizzle in our egg, which I have beaten, which should help incorporation and keep it going as an emulsion. And I'm just gonna add all the flour in at once. This is not something you should do, but it's getting late, and I still have a lot of cookies to bake, so incorporate this. Gonna stop a little early because we still gotta mix in our inclusions, which if you're following along and want to substitute, you shouldn't have more than 1 cup of. Alright, so this is my version of the cookie dough. As you can already see, it looks very different. Clearly the ratio of flour to butter is very different. I probably have a lot more butter and a lot less flour, and it looks more like a dough instead of a crumble. But which will be better? Only time will tell. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. I don't know why I'm spinning like this. I just thought it would be dramatic or something. I'm going to be using the same size disher so that cookie size isn't really a factor in judgment, although I can probably say that I should have gone with the bigger size for the other cookie. And I'm not using parchment paper this time because I'm lazy. Parchment paper is good because it's non-stick and also prevents the bottom from browning too much. But I don't tend to experience that with the cookies I normally make. So I usually just use it for cookies that I know are pretty sticky or hard to remove after baking. This feels more like cookie dough to me. Another reason to make them small is I'm gonna have to be tasting a lot of cookies today. But these will go in a 350 oven as well for roughly the same amount of time, although usually it's more like 11 minutes with these guys. And into the oven we go. Ta-da! We have our 2 sets of cookies. To be honest, I thought they'd look a little more similar, but let's get a close look for comparison. Something tells me these turned out very differently. Can you guess which is which? Probably you already saw which was which. On my right hand, which I guess is your left, we have my recipe, and in my left hand, your right, we have the Trader Joe's cookie. You can see because of the cooling and a lot more dry ingredients, it held its shape a lot more. Mine weren't chilled, and they spread like crazy. I'm starting to think maybe I should have chilled them. You can also kind of see in the back, the Trader Joe's ones are slightly lighter despite similar baking time, and that's probably due to the parchment paper. These were also very hard to get off of the cookie sheet. They stuck very hard, and I'm wondering if that's just from the M&Ms or too much sugar or what, but these actually could have benefited from some of the techniques from these. I probably should have chilled these, and I probably should have used parchment paper. Okay, discussion over, let's get back away from the camera. And now for the most important part. Beauty is only skin deep. How do they taste? I will start with the Trader Joe's one. It smells different. Wait, let me smell this. I mean, this has a smell, this one doesn't. Did I miss a flavor? Where's the... Oh, coffee. That's what it is. I didn't have the coffee flavor. So there is going to be that difference. So these ones are sandy and soft. I would say very sweet. The flavor of the oat comes through. I definitely taste the oatiness. Or goatiness. It's almost a joke. I'm not sure the graham cracker element really adds anything. I think I would have made these bigger. I think I actually agree with the recommended size of 2 tablespoons instead of 1. This is a tough job. Yeah, not bad. Mostly kind of... Is it weird to say like brown cookie flavors? And now let's compare with my attempt. Very different. Crispy, crunchy, hard. So I'm gonna have the 2 sides of the cookie spectrum there. So in this one, the peanut butter chips are a bit more prominent. I don't know if that's just because they're not being covered up, or because I just got a nice big chip in my first bite. And maybe I just didn't get a chip in the other one. The oat is less. I would probably up the amount of oat. And again, I'm not sure the graham cracker really does anything other than messing with the structure. I'm not sure I'd make them in this style again. I feel like if I'm just gonna make drop cookies, I'd make my standard chocolate chip, or white chocolate and macadamia nut, sometimes with dried cranberries. I'm not so sure I would go through all the effort of getting all those different components in here again. I don't know how to rate these, because they're still cookies. I guess as cookies, they're both 8 out of 10s? I guess the real purpose here is to say, which one's better? It's kind of like comparing scrambled eggs to hard-boiled eggs. Yes, they're both eggs, but they excel in different ways in their own forms. Let's ask Yoshi. Yoshi is an expert of cookies. Let's see, Yoshi. Oh, wait. What, you don't want to tell anyone? Okay. Do we have some privacy here? Yoshi's trying to tell him. Okay. Really? Yoshi says I should think about it if they were in their ideal form. This cookie was bigger, and if this one was chilled so it didn't spread out as much, which one would I prefer? I'm actually going to go with